start discussing the concept of box model, and this is a really important concept when it comes to CSS. It enables us to understand how CSS treats each of the HTML element whenever they are rendered on the web page. So let us get started with iDigital Printout. Now, the CSS box model is a conceptual way which states that every HTML element present on the web page is treated as a rectangular box, and each of these boxes, so no matter what the HTML element is, it's always going to get treated as a rectangular box with certain properties inside of it. This kind of enables CSS to treat each and every HTML element fairly, and it also helps CSS in kind of calculating it. It provides an easier way, an easier alternative for CSS to kind of calculate and lay out the HTML elements according to the design of the page. Now, what do the aspects of the box model mean? So let us say that I added in a HTML element on my page. So each of these HTML element will be treated as a rectangular box. So let's draw a rectangular box, something like this. And it comprises of certain aspects or certain things which are part of the actual rectangular box. So starting off from the very inner part of the rectangular box is something called a content area. So this area that is the content area is the area actually taken up by the contents of the HTML element. So for example, if you have written an H1 which says hello, and you have closed the H1. So this hello is considered to be the content of the HTML element. And that is what, and the space taken up by the content is the area taken up, and the space taken up by this particular content is the actual content area of the box. Now, the next thing that comes into the picture is something called a padding. So padding is essentially all the area around the content, or you can say that padding is essentially the space between the border and the content of the HTML element. So you can consider that the padding is the area, is the surrounding area of the content, and it is the space between the border of the HTML element and the actual content of the HTML element. And paddings are all across the content area. So we have a padding top, padding bottom, padding left, and padding right as well. Now, the next thing that comes into the box model is something called the border. And this is pretty self-explanatory. Border is the end of the HTML element. So a border signifies the end of the HTML element. That is the last leg of any HTML element to take up any space inside of the layout itself. And border kind of signifies that end. Now, apart from border, there is yet another concept of margins, and margin is nothing but the area all around the actual HTML element. So all the space around, so this orange area which you're seeing, all the space around the actual HTML element is considered to be margins. So in essence, the box model consists of a couple of things, and let's discuss, revise them once again. So they are content. Then the next thing is padding. The third is border. And the fourth is margins. So these four things together comprise the box model of CSS. And to summarize whatever we have done, these are the four aspects of the rectangular box: content, padding, border, as well as margin. And that kind of makes up the entire box model. Now, there are two things that we need to discuss, and that is border box versus content box. So there are two different ways in which the box model in CSS works, and we will be discussing both of these CSS properties and what's the core difference between them. So anytime you add any HTML element, by default, the box sizing property, the box sizing CSS property kind of controls the type of box model to be followed for each and every HTML element. By default, whenever you add any HTML element in your page, it has a box sizing property of content box. Now, what does the content box mean? The content box essentially means that the actual dimension of any HTML element is greater than the specified dimension of the HTML element, because the padding and the border is added to the actual HTML element. Now, what do I mean by this is, suppose that I specified a width of 200 pixels to my HTML element. Now, when the browser calculates the layouting of the HTML element via the content box property, the actual width of my element increases to greater than 200 pixels if I specify a padding and border. So in essence, the actual width of this particular HTML element is the specified width plus padding plus border. This is the default behavior, and we'll see what all of this means practically in a few moments. But essentially, this is the default behavior of CSS. Now, ideally, you don't want to have this sort of a behavior, because if you have specified the width of a particular HTML element to be 200 pixels, you don't want that even if you add paddings and border to that particular HTML element, the width and height of the HTML element should increase to greater than 200 pixels. So that is where the border box property comes into the picture. And ideally, if you want to not have any sort of a crazy size misalignment or miscalculation, you always use the border box property. Now, let's see practically what we mean by this. I'm going to remove all of the previous stuff that I discussed, and I'm going to create two divs, A and a div of B. And for this particular div, I'm going to give it a class of content, and I'm going to give the next div a class of border. Now, inside of my style.css, I'm going to give both of my divs a particular width and height. So let's say 500 pixels by 500 pixels. And I am also going to give a background color of aqua, and I will give a margin of 20 pixels so that there is some spacing around both of my HTML elements. And if you take a look at the div right now, you can see that both of my divs have a width of 500 pixels. Let's just make this a little bit smaller so that it's visible completely on the screen, something like this. And now you can see both of these divs have a width of 300 pixels with a height of 300 pixels. Now, for my div A, which has a class of content, I'm going to give this a box sizing property of content box. And for my div with a class of border, I'm going to give this a box sizing property of border box. Now, ideally, this will not make any difference if you have not specified any external paddings or borders. So let's add some padding to both of my divs. I'm going to add in a padding of 10 pixels, and I'm also going to add in a border of, let's say, 2 pixel solid red. And now essentially you will see that the width and the height of the div A, which had a box sizing property of content box, that has increased from 300 pixels to greater than 300 pixels. So essentially the actual width for div A is now 300 plus 10 plus 2. That essentially makes it 312. So it is no longer 300 pixels, although here in my CSS code I have specified that the height and width should be exactly 300 pixels, but it is not respecting that value, and it is adding the values of paddings and border. But the box which had the box sizing property of border box, you can see that the width still remains 300 pixels, even though I added some paddings and margins. And doesn't matter if I increase the paddings or margins here, sorry, paddings and borders here, the width will always be 300 pixel by 300 pixel. But for the content box, it's going to keep on increasing. So this is what the box sizing property is, and this is what content box and border box does. Ideally, you will find in most of the cases, you have a universal selector in which I make sure that each of my HTML element has a box sizing of border box. And now I can go ahead. Let's bring this back up. And here I'm going to add in a universal selector. I'm going to give this a box siding of border box. And now you can see that both of my divs, container A and container B, they are respecting the width and height of 300 pixels. So this is all about the box sizing property, which has border box and content box. We discussed about the box model property as well. This kind of brings us to the end of the video. There are more CSS concepts to discuss, and we will be discussing them in the further videos. Till then, I will see you all in the next video.